Hello and welcome back to the Checkpoint Reach podcast. I'm your host Luke Eldon. As ever, I'm joined by my fellow gamers and friends, Sun and Perks. How you doing, guys?
Fantastic.
What?
That's a Frank West. That's a Dead Rising comment from fantastic.
That wasn't by accident. I'd planned it all week.
Wow. I feel bad now. We've been caught cold by that one.
We have.
I just thought it was fitting because Dead Rising, of course, is our favourite game of all time.
Your favourite game of all time, not ours. It's not a collective thing.
Yeah, he got dragged into that.
Yeah, he dragged into it big time.
I thought, we all love a bit of Frank West.
I mean, it's my favourite game of all time that I didn't even know that was from the game.
Yeah. That's how much we love it.
I just thought you were putting on like a West Ham sort of accent.
It's kind of how he says it though, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much.
So,
yeah.
I'm practicing that all week. I haven't really.
Well, just looking in the mirror.
Yeah. But I just, for some reason, last week when we'd done the pod, it came into my head, because I was thinking about how we introduced ourselves. Oh, that's a really good one to introduce yourself with.
There you go.
I might try and look for ones every week. Like new...
What, like little...
New one-liners?
Little quips every week.
I might try.
You do always come up with something slightly different if it's okay. There's a very... he's Chipper the other week.
I'll tell you what, Chipper will be back at some point.
Chipper was the worst one. I mean, Mod Mark, shout out to him. He's Chipper, but...
He was the only other one.
He was the only one. You two weren't Chipper at all.
No, I was not.
It made you less Chipper, I think, that comment. Didn't it? So
I did.
But honestly, that's probably the best one for a while.
Yeah.
So
there you go.
Good job.
And are you good?
Yeah, I'm alright.
Back down to earth.
Fantastic.
Bit more realistic.
Yeah, so there you go, we're all good. But we usually do like to start, don't we, with what we've been playing.
Yeah.
And I think it's the same this week for you. Maybe not for you guys. I was away for a week, but I have come back and played a bit of Apex with you.
Apex.
I played a bit of Apex.
Apex is pretty much it for me.
Yeah.
I've been playing ranked, seeing how high I can get up the leagues. My first season of playing ranked, I didn't play 1, 2 or 3, so yeah. I'm into Gold 3, it's going well. Still progressing, haven't hit that plateau yet, so I'm interested to see how high I can go. No, but that wasn't
You always
ranked.
like to bring him down.
He does. He's a terrible teammate.
Yeah. It wasn't, I mean, this morning was just bad, wasn't it, in general?
We didn't have the best games, but...
We had one game that we should have won. We really should have won one, and just all ended in tears, didn't it? Really?
It did.
And 3 people hiding behind the rock.
Shout out to the campers behind the rock. I'm watching you. But no, it was bad. We ended up pinched because people were hiding where they shouldn't have been, but...
I've been playing a newish game on PS. Well, it is a new game, but it's a remaster. I've been playing Vanquish on PS4.
How is it?
Wow.
Remember that back in the day?
I enjoyed that back in the day.
It's fun games. They remastered it, haven't they? They brought it out, so really fun. It's just a really fun game. It's quite short as well, like 5-6 hour game. Just a nice game to blast through.
I remember it being
nice
quite slick and fast.
Yeah, it's fun. Platinum, isn't it? Platinum Games. They make fun games. Apart from that, just waiting on what's coming out, Doom and Final Fantasy and stuff like that to come out. So
I don't think we'll be playing Final Fantasy.
No.
Maybe Doom.
Yeah, I'll play Doom.
Look forward to Doom.
Probably not straight away though. I always feel like Doom's a game that drops in price really fast.
Yeah, it will do. I think by the summer you'll probably get it for like 15, 20 quid. But that is one definitely to look forward to.
Yeah.
They're always fun.
It always seems to release lower than like the typical price points as well, doesn't it? A little bit cheaper, so fair play to them for that.
Still undecided on that DLC for Division. I've not played Division this week, so I am kind of tempted. I don't know why. For some reason it's tempting me to get it, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Because it is apparently quite a massive expansion. It's like you get to explore New York again, don't you, from the first one, so... But we'll see. It's coming out in like a week or so I'll have to play a bit more Division anyway. I'll have to get back on that train.
Yeah. And we'll see if you do test out the DLC. But anyway, we're going to jump into our first topic of the day, and that is Xbox Series X has 12 teraflops. New technical specs have been revealed. And let's just have a look at the specs, shall we? So they've revealed the new features for the Xbox Series X. 12 teraflops, I've already mentioned. Variable rate shading, DirectX ray tracing hardware, quick resume for multiplayer games, smart delivery, next-gen SSD, HDMI 2.1 support, supports Xbox 360 One games, so obviously backwards compat.
Yeah.
So, I mean, a lot of these have been...
Yeah, we've kind of we kind of knew and speculated on it anyway, didn't we? We knew it was probably going to be 12 teraflops. That's been the rumour for years. Well,
for years. It feels like years.
It feels like years,
It does feel like years.
I guess it's... they're getting out there, aren't they? Xbox. It's a bit of a power play, isn't it? It's kind of like getting out there, see what the opposition responds with, and I don't know if you've seen, but a lot of PS5 fans, PlayStation fans, not happy, getting very frustrated.
Really?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of sort of Xbox fanboys like mocking them, and then PlayStation fanboys hitting back.
What are they frustrated like that Sony haven't gone first?
I know. I think they're just frustrated because Sony have literally been silent,
sitting and waiting.
I don't know why fanboys get frustrated because as soon as Sony announce something, they're gonna
go crazy.
Anyway.
Yeah.
I think they're getting worried that maybe Sony are not as prepared as Microsoft have been for this gen. Maybe Sony are on the back foot. I'm not sure I agree with that.
No, I don't.
I think we have to wait and see. I think it's a bit early to be saying, oh, Sony are on the back foot going into next gen. We've not even seen it yet. So, if they have a reveal and it's terrible, and some of these things that are going to be the Xbox on,
maybe they're just getting everything into place so that when they announce it,
they don't need to rush, do they? No. It's not like they're struggling or on a downward trend.
Exactly.
And we saw last week with that story that they're still not sure on the price, are they? They're kind of wait and see because they're still not 100% on the price and stuff like that. So I think it's positive news for Xbox though. But they seem confident, don't they?
Well, I feel like Xbox had to go hard.
They did have to go hard. I mean, they had no choice.
Yeah.
After this gen, it's been I know they've improved, but it's been a poor gen for them, hasn't it, really? It has. I mean, there's no getting away from it. It's improved in the last 2 or 3 years, but nowhere near to the standard of the good old days of 360, is it?
No.
When we had games every couple of months coming out that were hits, weren't they, pretty much? And we've not really had many hits at all, first party wise.
Well, we don't really get first party games as such anymore. Like, they're so few and far between, it's unreal.
I'd say Gears 4 and 5 were, solid, enjoyable games. Were they as big as like Gears
Not
1?
masterpieces,
Or
though.
2 or 3 now. Forza Horizon's done really well for them, but it's a racing game at the end of the day. Never going to be that massive. Halo has been poor this gen, really.
Yeah, but look at the names that you've just reeled off. Like, they're just
games.
Yeah, exactly, same games.
Even the ones who tried Sunset Overdrive went nowhere. Rise, no. Quantum Break, nothing came of that. It's been poor from first party wise, so that's the front they need to make sure they get locked down now for E3. They need to show some games that people are going to be. Good start with Hellblade 2, looks good, but they need 3 or 4 more at least like that.
Well, they've got the specs now to hopefully deliver on that first party promise. They've acquired the studios, they've shown everyone the
and it's
technical
fair to
specs.
say that they've had...
It seems ready.
I mean, we could still be 2 or 3 years away from getting, a lot... people are probably bored of hearing that, aren't they? 2 or 3, but we are probably still another couple of years away from fully seeing what these teams can deliver.
It's frustrating though, isn't it?
It is
because
frustrating.
it's for the longest time, like as Xbox guys, we've been told like the games are coming, and then you get like, I don't know, one every 6 months that's kind of interesting or something like that.
I don't even know if it might be being generous.
I'm being generous, but a couple a year, and they're not great, and that's not the standard.
It's not good enough.
That doesn't compete with Sony, so they definitely have a way to go. But I'm a little bit shocked we haven't had something yet.
What, from Sony's?
Yeah, surprising.
standpoint?
No, like from Microsoft. I mean, like we haven't had something like a Horizon. At least one
I see what you mean.
game in like all this time. And I know, like you just said, studios have been acquired, and it's like, I know things take time. You can't rush masterpieces and all that, but we haven't even really had one. And I know it's like subjective. People like different games. Fair enough. But we haven't had a Horizon. We haven't had a God of War.
It is subjective, but the games you mentioned from Sony is like universal.
I think it's objective. When it comes to like the quality of... I don't think anyone with a straight face could tell me that Microsoft's first party offering is anywhere near. So anyone that tried to, you just laugh in their face.
No, of course
like
you
the
would.
evidence, isn't there?
But I mean, like, to not just completely generalise, like, someone will be like, oh, I really enjoyed State of Decay, or something like that.
You can say you enjoy
Someone
it.
will say that they love Sea of Thieves.
But they're still not at the level. No one could tell me they're at the level of quality of like a Horizon. Like, yeah, you might enjoy them more. Maybe you enjoy them, but no one could objectively tell me that is a better game than God of War. Like State of Decay or like God of War. Right? Yeah, come on, like it's. I've played them all, so it's not like
some people will not like God of War though.
And I like State of Decay. I like State of Decay too. I thought it was pretty good.
Didn't you?
Yeah, but
I
it was
actually
full
enjoyed
of
it.
bugs and glitches
It was.
galore.
Me and Matty tried playing with you, but
The actual
Then
core
last one.
game was fun. Like it was just again.
The execution though was garbage. Crackdown's execution garbage. Like,
and they had ages on Crackdown.
they had too long.
Yeah.
Crackdown 3 should have released like when it did. It was a broken mess anyway. Like, they might as well have released it when it was just as broken, like 2 years before. So what was the point?
Yeah, they're still not. I mean, they can say they're ready and all that. Maybe they are, but until we see something tangible from them for software-wise, people are still going to be questioning things, aren't they? And I still think, it's going to need, like, probably the game from, like, the Initiative or something like that, or Playground Games, RPG, we assume is probably Fable. I mean, we want to see these games at E3. They have to show at least a couple of these games in development at E3, don't they? Considering it's next gen, they can't show the same old... like, we're going to see a lot of Halo Infinite, obviously, because it's coming out. That's fine. But if it's just filled with Halo Infinite and things that are already out this gen, that's not good enough.
No.
That would be unacceptable.
I would be shocked if they didn't at least have some kind of first-party focus other than what we know. Like, we know we're getting Halo. If that's it, and the rest of the show is about third-party games again... it would feel weak to me.
I expect there to be third-party games there. Obviously.
No, but there has to be.
There's going to be
that's fine.
New games you'd expect, games we've heard about before and stuff like that. Fine, but I'd expect a robust first-party offering. There's no excuse for it either, because we know that there's studios that are working on games. We know there is,
and it feels like
they bought loads.
They acquired those studios for next gen.
Well, yeah, exactly.
That was what their game plan.
I'm not even bothered if. See, some people have this thing, don't they, where they're like, I hate seeing games 3 or 4 years out. I kind of don't. I'd like to know they're actually working on something.
Yeah.
Like, it was like, do you remember when Last of Us 2 was revealed, and it was like 5 years ago, and it's only just coming out?
Feels that long
But you always know it's coming out. You know that game's going to be... Like, I want to see that from Microsoft. Even if this Playground Games game, they say, it's not going to be ready for 3 years, fine. But at least I know it's coming down the pipeline.
My biggest
I want to see a few
that,
before that, fine. But I don't... Obviously, I want to see some games that are released before that. But you know how some people moan? They do moan, don't they? Say, I don't want to see any games that are more than 6 months out. Yeah, but
that's unrealistic. But my biggest fear on that point is, like, you use like The Last of Us 2 or like whatever's next in a series of games. It's established. If we know a game's coming 3 years out and it's a fresh IP, it's like, okay, that's interesting, but the apprehension is like, could be garbage. So we have to wait another 3 years.
Should it? With the investment they've
made,
not
with the studios, not with the hardware. Like, it doesn't make any sense for them to fail. But they don't have money in the bank with anything.
No,
in terms, like, Gears will wrap up in the next one. Halo Infinite is like...
Halo's going to go on forever, right?
Yeah, it's just the way that it will be, or whatever.
343 out of the Halo studio, that's all they're going to make. So
Forza will keep going, like that's fine, but like we don't have money in the bank with an IP like Sea of Thieves. It doesn't count.
That game will probably carry on next gen in some form. Like,
I think it will just carry on as it is. I don't think we'll see like Sea of Thieves 2, or it might be rebuilt within the world it's in. I don't see them doing a sequel for any reason.
Rare are doing that Animal game, aren't they? Do you remember? It was
I can't remember what it's called though.
But so you'd think they're focusing on that, maybe now, unless that's a small project.
Yeah,
which could be. But
they need like fresh IPs that hit you, and then you're like, oh right, I don't mind waiting 5 years for the next one. Like I'm alright playing The Last of Us 1 and then waiting 5 years for The Last of Us 2. That's whatever.
But like, I think why I was I wouldn't say massively excited, but the reason I was kind of like, oh, that's good with Hellblade 2 is because it's not a new IP, but it kind of feels like a new IP almost.
Yeah, it looks,
what they're doing with it.
It definitely does.
Like, the first one was great. I really like. I still recommend that if you get a chance, you should definitely check it out. It's a really unique game. It's really good. But this second one looks like a step up. It looks like
God of War.
It does look. I mean, that's
because that felt like a new IP. Because I'd never played any of the previous God of Wars. And I picked up and played that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and
so it felt like a new IP.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping they can do that with this.
Yeah.
Because I mean, the vibes I got were God of War vibes when I saw that trailer. Now, I'm not saying the game's going to be anywhere the same as it, but I'm just saying that's the vibes I got from it.
Definitely had this.
I might be overhyping it.
Yeah, it's probably just like the design, the
it,
artistic like cover of it, and the way that the chanting was. It felt like that.
I'd like to think their ambition though is the level we're going to go for. That is the scale we're going to go for.
It has to be,
because the first one was really good, but it was limited. You could tell it was limited in its scope in terms of it was very linear, which is fine. I don't mind linear games, but I'd like to see this one broaden out a bit more.
But that's exactly like
that's why they bought the studio.
There's no excuse. Like, they bought the studio. We've seen the hardware. Phil Spencer speaks in the article about how it allows for bigger worlds, more immersion, more things going on. And aside from the stuff that we already know, like we know the frame should be more solid and more stable. We know they shouldn't just stick at 30. Like, we should be able to hit 60 across the board. That's fine. But the actual game has to be beneficial now the game has to benefit, should I say, from the hardware. They can't just throw out garbage that we've seen in the last 3 years with that hardware
The only
available
thing
to
is,
them.
though,
Doesn't make sense.
with the hardware, they could have all the hardware available to them, next specs, all this, but they need a good story in the game.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course. They need some
Or
proper...
good core gameplay mechanics if
Yeah,
it's not a
depending on what it
story-based
is.
game.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, that's what hooks you into a game. It could be the game could be like the best looking game. I mean, to be honest, it's not the best looking game ever, but Sea of Thieves, I like the style of it. It looked great.
It looked nice.
As soon as we started playing it, though, I realised its limitations.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I'm out.
Another good example of that is the Order 1886. Which
Yeah,
is
yeah,
one of
yeah.
the best. I mean, that game is still one of the best looking games I've played. But I mean, I actually enjoyed it, but it's you can tell it's a game that's just not. It should have been more than it was. You know what I mean? Very linear, very limited game.
Yeah, but
So that's what I
maybe
worry
with
about.
that, like that, I don't mind. Like the Order gets a lot of criticism, and rightly so, because it retailed like at the highest possible price point. If that would have come out at like 20 quid,
Yeah, people
Probably would have been praised.
yeah, because it was a showcase game. It was almost like I remember like at the time.
It's almost like a launch game.
It was like
wasn't a launch
it
game,
was
but-
showing people, look what we can
Yeah.
do, and it didn't last very long. But it was a good game. It looked good. Everything about it was polished and smart. But people felt like, why have we paid like £55 for this?
Definitely wasn't worth that.
So if they would have come in at like
misjudged
20 or
the market
£25, and people would have been really impressed with that if they did that.
I just want to come back to your point about the frame rate and stuff because it's interesting because I've always been someone that's kind of been like, yeah, is frame rate all that and stuff like that, but I've got to say, going back to Vanquish, which has been remastered, it's 1080 60 instead of, what was it, 720 30.
Yeah, it would have been.
Makes a big difference.
That's a massive difference.
It really does. Like, you don't think it, but then when you stop playing, you're like, wow, this feels even smoother than I remember it. And 6 frames per second to 30 in a games like that, it actually does make a bigger difference than I think you realise sometimes.
You can tell. I think with gaming, FPS does matter more because obviously, like movies, things you see on TV, I think they're all like 24
and it's fine.
and it makes no difference.
Things don't really move quick enough.
Exactly, but when you're playing like an online multiplayer, like you need it.
Yeah.
It is a lot better to play with.
The biggest test that I can point to anybody, like not everybody has in their home setup like an Xbox or a PC or different versions of things. Go and watch a YouTuber that plays on PC on whatever it is game that you like. And if you play on 30 all the time and then you see a YouTube video and you're like, why does the game look so smooth? Because they're on PC and the difference, and I know PC can way exceed 60 frames, but look at the difference in the game. It looks like an updated, like, where's my patch? Why haven't I got that? It's going to be significant.
It's so noticeable. Even like some YouTube videos in general, some people film with 60 FPS and
Makes a big difference.
yeah, you can tell
The quality
instantly.
is there for sure.
I mean, I don't think it's the be all and end all. I think there's games I've enjoyed that have been 30 frames per second. Fine.
No, I just
but,
think I think fast-paced games do
depends on the
benefit
game. Yeah,
a
like
lot.
first-person shooters, 30, you've got to be,
Yeah, like I enjoy 30 frames games, like that's fine.
Yeah.
But when you see them at 60 or plus on PC versions, it's like, come on, man! Like I want that.
But with these
we
specs,
need that.
I wouldn't expect hardly any game to be 30, to be honest with you.
No, I mean that was my point.
12
Even
teraflops. Compared to, what was the Xbox One? 6? Xbox One X is 6 teraflops.
I think it was 6. We talked about it, didn't we?
Yeah.
yeah,
So this console is
On the,
double in terms
one
of
of the
power,
episodes.
pure power. I mean,
I'll take a look.
you know,
as well
games shouldn't be struggling to run at 6 frames per second.
no. And I don't want it to be like I can't remember the exact sentence, but when you read it, it's like should be able to or like could be.
Well, they have to say that, don't
I
they,
know,
just in case.
but it that again, like that's the pessimist in me. I think like, come on, like don't tease me with
tease and
the
then
game
like, oh.
starts at 60 and drops to 30 instantly.
Here you go. So Xbox One X is 6 teraflops
Yeah.
because this new one's 2 times
Yeah,
or twice the performance, and it's 8 times the original Xbox One,
So
which is
that's a
what
lot
I
of
still
power.
have.
You know, I know that it doesn't always equate, does it? Like that, it won't. I don't think
it doesn't mean you'll get
won't
like 6
literally
times better
be
games.
6 times
Like,
better.
it won't
It
happen.
doesn't. The further you get up, the less the return is.
Yeah, yeah.
But it still should be a big improvement. And even with whatever the PS5, it should be a big improvement on the PS4 Pro. So both consoles, they shouldn't be struggling. I don't think to run these games at 60. But I guess we'll see. We'll soon probably find out when the first game's like, oh, we couldn't get to it's 4K. 30,
I'm just not having
60.
it. Like, no, there's no reason.
There's
for
not as
it.
much of an excuse. Like last gen, at least there was an excuse of like you kind of still had to compromise a bit for certain games. You know, some games you kind of have to be like, we're 1080p 60 instead of 4K. I don't think there should be any compromise this next generation. Especially from the big developers, no excuse. Activision, they've got money. Ubisoft, they should be all trying to run their games.
No. I know we're not like complete hardware geeks. We only see what's there and what we can compare it to. So there'll be people out there that can obviously prove me otherwise. But when I see that and I look at comparisons of what we had before and what we have now, and I look at certain like high-end PC builds now, we basically have a PC in the Xbox Series X. If it can't, it's never going to surpass or maybe equal some of the high-end PCs, but it is a PC. It should deliver PC quality. So fair enough, if you put your own build together, you're always going to be able to achieve more.
Yeah.
But this is a PC box. I'm not having it. I'm not having 60 FPS that's not locked and drops to 4 when explosions start going off, or when you like...
You still see something even on the X.
No, it happens. It absolutely plummets on some games, like without a shadow of a doubt. There's no excuse for like having an open world RPG exploration game and getting to the top of a hill and the draw distance is just crap and falls off a cliff.
Well, that's the thing. I mean,
there's no reason for that.
I think they're the games that's going to hopefully benefit the most. This part is them sort of open world up, because you go to something like a Fallout or a Skyrim, even on PS4, the remake. They're better than they were on, but they still feel janky.
They are.
They're better than they were on 360. I mean, they were awful, weren't they? When you look back now, if you go back to 360, I mean, they were bad, weren't they? You remember how bad was the frame rate on Skyrim?
What's horrendous?
Awful. But
that dropped to less than 4. That was horrific.
But even on like the PS4 and Xbox One versions, they're better, but you still get drops, and it's like, come on, like it's not even running at like 6, it's running at 30, if that, a lot of the time. But I'd expect these it's going to be difficult still, because I think it's going to be a dilemma for games. I'm trying to think the next Elder Scrolls in like 3 or 4 years, whenever it comes out, maybe longer.
Yeah, but hopefully they update their engine.
Well, that was my next point. Yeah. Like, they have the hardware from a development standpoint, but if they're developing with the same engines,
then
you're going to get the same product.
But my point is, I still think they're going to have to compromise. I want it to be like imagine Skyrim in like 6 frames per second. It'd be so good. It feels so. But I still can imagine the game coming out and being like, it's 4K 30.
I'm not having it.
It shouldn't be there. No,
I can't take it.
But I can still.
I can't take the idea of this kind of hardware being like half-assed because devs can't be asked to updating their engines. And I say that like it's an easy task. Look, I understand enough about game design to know that it's not just like, we'll make a new engine. That is a whole nother issue in itself. But this is the next gen. You've got to be planning for the next gen. But we expect updated engines.
With the engine, surely Bethesda should have updated it by now.
Bethesda should have been updated in the gen that's coming to an end.
Yeah, so because now, all their games are pretty much the same.
Yeah, they're the same.
So, just moving on slightly then, what do we think about this? Well, actually, I'll just read the quote actually from, so it says, so Phil Spencer also announced Smart Delivery, which will allow games to be bought once and work across all compatible consoles. Despite being technically different versions of the same game, this will apply to all Xbox Game Studios titles, and developers can even apply it to games they release on Series X later than Xbox One. Game Pass will continue to feature first-party games at launch. That includes Halo Infinite. What do we think about this Smart Delivery then?
Had to be that way. Had to be that way. It is the oldest school way of thinking that if you have a game, for example, on Xbox, whatever version, and then they release an updated version, you have to buy a new game. That's shit.
So, I mean, we saw, didn't we, in the article with Cyberpunk, CD Projekt Red, that if you buy that game on Xbox,
they'll give it you free.
The upgrades.
Well, it's just the way it has to be.
Well, it would anyway, wouldn't it? Because I assume the game, like, how would that work then? Because I'm trying to think, if you buy it on September when the Xbox One comes out and then you play it, but then you want to get it on, would it just automatically upgrade when you get the new console, or do you actually get another copy? Like,
see, here's the thing.
It's a bit confusing.
Now that we're talking about it, and I did read the article, but now that we're actually sitting talking about it, I wouldn't be shocked if you had to own it digitally. If you had to buy it, because otherwise they wouldn't be able to link ownership. It would be buy it, sell it, and then it's like, I bought the game, I've played the game, so yeah, you're going to have to own that digitally.
Well, the thing is, it's going to work anyway, though, isn't it? Even if you got the disc, it will work on the Xbox Series X.
Yeah, but you won't have the up-to-date version of the game.
Yeah, see, this is why I'm confused and I don't really understand it, because that's confusing a bit.
Well, no, it's not. If you buy a physical copy...
Right. But it will. The consoles have got the technology to automatically... Like, if you buy the physical copy, you play on Xbox, and then you put the game in again when you get a Series X, it should automatically upgrade to the highest spec version, because that's what they're saying basically. You buy the game on Xbox One.
Yeah, wouldn't you just put it in there, be an update?
Well, that's what I thought, there'd be an update. But are they saying it is, and you have to download a completely different file? That's
You're
going to
need that. Think about it how we have now. The Xbox One X has different patch sizes to the previous consoles.
We noticed that.
Yeah, it does, but if Eldon bought an Xbox One X, he could put a normal game in and it would upgrade to the X version.
Yeah,
that's what I mean. This is why it's confusing.
But with this now,
it feels different. Yeah.
Kind of going back on what I just said, like I think it was a really good thing, but now that I'm thinking about it more,
it's a bit.
I think there will be something in place, and we don't know because this is literally just a new story. We haven't seen any more. I think you will have to own a digital copy of the game for when it gets updated or upgraded. That's how you get the new one. Because otherwise you could buy a retail copy, play it, install it, leave it installed, sell the retail copy. No, you wouldn't be able to play it. But then there would be like, oh look, the new version's available. I bought that. I think it's going to have to be digital. I think that will be the only way that they can track ownership of that to make sure that you get the updated version.
I think maybe. I think they'll have to just explain it.
Yeah,
what they're going to do, because I seem to be with your method of thinking. Like, would you not be able to just put it into the better Xbox?
Well, unless they are literally releasing, like if you think about like GTA, for example, back in the day, like you had to buy a different copy.
Yeah,
it was labeled differently.
Oh no, that's what that's not going to happen anymore.
Yeah, but you might have to if you're buying physically.
But that's why they need to explain.
Yeah,
that would go against what he's saying. To me, that would be a contradiction in what he's saying, because he never says once here. It only applies to digital games. He doesn't.
Yeah,
you look at this whole guy. He never says once.
But that's a negative thing, so he's not going to say it.
No, of course.
This is supposed to look good.
But we could easily just go back and say, well, you've not lied, but
you haven't exaggerated.
From what I've heard from Phil Spencer recently as well, I've listened to quite a few interviews, and it goes against what he's saying. I'm not sure that's going to be a thing. I might be wrong.
To be honest, I'm actually surprised they're going down that route, because, like you just mentioned with GTA, look how well that did. I mean, it sold, amazingly well on both.
Yeah.
Cyberpunk, if that came out and was a massive hit, would do exactly the same, because people would just buy it again.
Although, to be fair to CD Projekt Red, they've always been quite friendly.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
I mean, they did a lot of DLC for Witcher that was free. I know they did paid ones, but even the paid DLC was really cheap. They've always been good like that. I think
for the price
they
and the
rely
quality.
on goodwill, don't they, to help them get a good reputation. They want their reputation to be through the roof.
Oh yeah, I mean, I would prefer it that way. I'm just surprised from the marketing heads.
By the way, this won't happen with every game. There'll be some companies that don't do this. There's no way every single company is going to be like, yeah, you get a free version. There'll be a lot.
Could you imagine EA?
There'll be some that don't.
They can't speak for third parties.
No, that's what I'm saying.
That hasn't just like randomly happened. Like they will have paid CD Projekt Red to do that. I'm sure, because why else?
Well, this is the thing that we don't know really, because we don't know if PlayStation is going to have the same thing, do we? We don't actually know at this point.
But we don't know until PlayStation 5 actually exists.
Is this a thing that's is this something just to do that Xbox, or is it that CD Projekt can't say anything yet about PS5? Because they can't talk about PS5 because it's not technically been.
Yeah, you can't say anything until.
So it might be like they might be waiting until it comes out and they're like, oh, by the way, it's the same on PlayStation. Yeah. I saw some PlayStation people on Twitter asking like, well, what about PlayStation? It's like, well, they can't answer, can they? Because it's not been announced. So
I think for sheer clarity of this, we need to know when you go into a retail store, are you going to see games labelled Xbox Series X?
I don't know.
Like, for example, like PlayStation's easy. You're going to see PlayStation 4, you're going to see PlayStation 5. There will be a distinction between buying X game there and the same thing there. Xbox, are they just going to say Xbox because it's a family of consoles? Is that enough to buy a physical copy and have like ownership tracking somewhere there? I don't understand how that works with licenses to guarantee you the upgrade.
He's awake.
So my biggest concern on that is we don't know. We're not in the shops yet. We can't see it.
Yeah.
If they're labelled Xbox Series X and you can still buy like Xbox One X games as they are right now, then there is a separation.
And then you would have to buy. Cheaper? Like, would they be a little bit cheaper? Because
like, even if it's like £5.
Same game though, technically.
Yeah. I don't know.
Weird.
I don't know until we know how it works from a retail standpoint. From a digital standpoint, I feel like that is the only way they can guarantee that upgrade as part of your original purchase.
It's going to be interesting. I don't know if you also saw that there was, you know how we were saying about PlayStation going to have a massive advantage with first-party games because they made exclusive. There was actually rumours that PlayStation might have on a similar path to Xbox with the whole...
With the time
they might not have true exclusives for like a year or something.
Really?
There was a rumour. We don't know until it's revealed, but there was rumours.
That would be interesting.
That would be interesting.
Because where would we go? Because we said after last time we heard about Xbox, I'd probably buy a PS5.
I think I would probably still buy a PS5, to be perfectly honest with you. Just because I think their strength of games in general is higher, but it would definitely make things more interesting. I can understand why they'd go down that path, but at the same time I can't. It's like it's a 50-50 one. It is the future of where everything's going, that sort of thing. But at the same time, they're giving up a lot of their advantage by doing that.
I think a lot depends on what their launch titles are. Like what's going to actually come out when the console comes out to make them have to make that choice. Basically.
See, I was always thinking there'd be a mix. I was always thinking there'd be PS4 exclusive and PS5 games like that are on both at launch, but there'd also be like a couple that are just PS5. So say you get 4 exclusives at launch, 2 would be on PS4 and PS5 and 2 would be on just PS5. But it seems like that might not be the case now. They might all be available to play on PS4, so...
It does depend on the title though. Like if they're gonna, I don't know, I'll throw out like a PlayStation classic like Gran Turismo or whatever. You would kind of expect that that's a next gen game, so that would be like PS5 only. Like what are they gonna have at launch that could go into the next gen only category? And we don't know that until we know their schedule.
Like I agree with you. I'm starting to get to a point where I'm like, I honestly don't know what I'm gonna do now.
Yeah, no. Same.
Like I think I'm still gonna go to PlayStation, but.
We've got to hear what they've got to say.
There's too much unknown.
Yeah, there is a lot.
We have so many speculations about it. It's like
I feel like the Xbox One PS4 was like, it was horrible. Like I didn't know what to do, and then eventually chose Xbox. But I don't want that again. I wanted this time. I was set like, no, I'm gonna choose one and stick with it. But
put it this way,
but you don't need to know now. Like,
no, you don't. But I want to know now. I want to be like, you know, when you want that peace of mind.
If PlayStation come out and say that there will be exclusives, next gen exclusives from the get go, or at least within a few months or whatever, I'd probably go for PlayStation.
Right.
If they don't, then I will consider Xbox, what to do. Because I don't know though. Because do I just get? But
you don't buy for launch, do you? You buy for like you were talking about before. Like you want to still play those third party games.
Yes, I know, but at the moment, I'd be buying for launch. I mean, come on, we bought the Xbox for the launch.
Yeah.
We didn't buy that really with our
piece. It was a shiny new thing we wanted.
Yeah, and we wanted it.
The difference is now that we know that like we didn't know we were going to get a bunch of shit first party games. Like now the PlayStation is like, all right, you might not get them on launch, but you're still going to get great games. You still play all the third party games.
Yeah, but saying that, you're not going to buy a PlayStation.
Yeah, but I'm an Xbox guy. But I'm like, I'm just looking at the other side of the coin. Like it's.
I mean, you already know. I mean. The only reason I could see you not getting Xbox is if they priced it like £800 or something absolutely ridiculous. And the PlayStation was like $300 or something.
Well, I said in our price discussion last week, it's like if we get completely shafted, well, I'm not doing it.
How come you are still an Xbox guy? Because when you think about this gen's been shite.
It has been
in terms of games.
Yeah,
PlayStation infected you.
Yeah. In fact, no, I think like honestly, it's hard to explain, but I think I play a lot more, or I play a lot less variety of games than I ever did before. Most games that I go hard on these days are third parties, and I have the world's most powerful console in the Xbox One X.
For now.
Yeah, for now. So
would you change your tune then if play?
I don't know. I feel comfortable
as well.
The controller is significantly better.
Yeah, I do think the controller's better. But say it was a complete. This isn't going to be the case, I don't think. But say there was a complete, unexpected PS5's like 15 teraflops. It's not going to be, but. Would that actually make you change your mind?
Hardware,
I don't think
I mean,
would.
like
because you say
from my sarcastic comment before.
Because you say about the world,
care,
but the way you play, hardware probably is quite important because you, especially playing Destiny or like games like Apex, you want to be playing on the thing that's going to give you the best advantage.
Well, that's why I compared it to PC before. It's like I expect near PC levels. Yeah, like I expect it to be like it's not a console, but it's not a high-end PC. It's like it's somewhere in the middle, and it has to be able to deliver like that. I don't know what would make me change, really. I mean, you can buy like third party like PlayStation controllers that look like Xbox controllers, and vice versa. So I mean, if that was the only thing holding me back, I probably would have done it by now.
I do wonder,
probably a sense of investment.
For some reason,
I don't know.
asked you.
Yeah,
like because this gen really was a letdown with the games, and PlayStation easily won.
Well, question to you though: if it hadn't have been, I don't know, I'm trying to think. If you didn't play with us, would you just think you would have chosen a PlayStation or anything else?
Yeah.
Really? You don't think you'd have chosen a console at all?
I'd probably chosen a PlayStation.
So say if it was just based on just you alone, would you get a PS5? Probably. Likely.
Yeah, probably like.
Because you'd feel like the amount of games would represent what you want to play more.
Yeah. But
Like your Spider-Mans, your Horizons, your God of
But to be fair, looking back though, now I've said that, I own both.
Yeah.
Me and you were like, you were the first to get the original Xbox.
Yeah.
And then I wanted an Xbox because after playing it at your house, I thought, oh, good console. So I ended up getting that and I had a PS2. And then I had a 360 and a PS3. But I always bought the Xbox from them first.
Yeah, same.
Well,
that's how I've gone over the gens.
That era when you had 360 PS3, when you weren't really playing with us much, you were at uni and stuff.
Yeah.
Did you go... Would you say you gravitated more towards the PlayStation at that period of time?
Weirdly, so when I went into sixth form, I played the PlayStation all the time with a few of my other mates.
Oh, so it did.
And I was on, depending on who I was gaming with at the time. But then when I went to uni, I took my Xbox.
Yeah.
360. And I don't know, I think for that time, I think I played the PlayStation 3 of the Xbox for about a year and a half. But I went back to the 360.
It's a struggle.
I think
you know
I preferred
what?
the 360.
You're better off being in Perks' position, I think. Just knowing you because
just the carefree.
Well, no, because knowing that you pretty much know any game you buy is going to be on Xbox and Xbox only, right? Pretty much.
Yeah, I mean,
of the last, the last 5 years. I mean, I know you bought a PlayStation for didn't last.
I will always play PlayStation titles.
Yeah, what
but
I mean
will be
is
behind when I get to them.
But what I mean is, you know that any game that comes out, you're going to buy an Xbox. You probably ignore anything else that comes on PlayStation, whatever. You just take it as a. You have to take your losses, don't you? If you just based on one console.
And to be fair, he gets to play the good games for cheaper. By the time
that is
basically,
true.
yeah.
But the problem for us, and more specifically me probably even more, is because I've bought games on both at different times. You go through periods where I've gone on PlayStation for a bit now. Oh, I'm back to
Mate, the amount of times I've said to you, do you want to play this game? You go,
I
bought it on PlayStation.
I know, that's the thing.
I was like,
it's like, it gets to a stage where you're like, you have to kind of just pick one, but it's like, then I don't want to miss out. It's like, it's a horrible feeling.
I feel like I might as well have the PlayStation for first party exclusives.
Well, that's what I sometimes
Xbox
think,
for third party games can I play with you guys, and plus any Xbox first party is on Game Pass.
I mean, maybe I should do that. I'm thinking now, maybe I should do that, considering third party games are going to be probably run better, and that's probably, we don't know 100%. But then I think I don't know. It's
but is the difference enough to make you care about that?
I will
that's
say,
the trade, isn't it?
I will say I've always preferred Xbox Live over the PSN.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Always, even like the party charts, everything.
Stability gets hacked less. It's just fact.
Yeah.
Because I think I'm going to end up buying both anyway at some point. You?
I'll end up with both.
I don't. Will.
I'm not sure which way I'll go first.
It's if I get the Xbox first, do I have the patience to be like, it's all right, Horizon 2, I'll wait a year. It's so hard, isn't it?
It is, but
it's really hard.
The worst thing now, though, is
especially if Xbox fails again, and say if Xbox is crap again, it's like, oh great, I've bought this. It's great third party games. Where's the first? I'm going to be annoyed.
The worst part I find now, though, is as well, they're more expensive, and it's going to be my money this time.
Exactly.
Most of the times I've had consoles bought for me because of
now it's
obviously being younger.
Yeah,
you're going to be more careful this time.
Yeah. So now, if I'm paying £500,
you want it to be.
I want a console I'm going to be happy with. I don't want to be like Matty and waking up and feeling ill.
Exactly.
With it staring back at me. So,
what about if I wake up on Xbox and want to feel ill? I should go on PlayStation.
Yeah.
No, I'd just make do, but I don't want to be in that situation. It sounds really. I don't want to be in like the losing situation again. Does that sound bad? Like, it might be a bit sort of a bratty thing to say, but I don't want to be in that sort of like.
Because, like you said, you
wasn't first though. I didn't get a PlayStation till properly until the end of 2014. Yeah, I guess it was only a year.
Yeah.
Well, I look back actually.
See, I know this is weird. I'm not like talking down my gaming. I play hours and hours and hours every single week.
You play more than I don't know because you play PlayStation a lot.
I do play PlayStation a lot, but you play more consistently. I think
exactly. So like, I'm not trying to say like I'm not as big a gamer as I used to be. I am, but I just game differently.
Yeah.
Like. Back in the day, I would play it was like Friday releases regularly. It doesn't matter what it was, I would buy it.
There was some trash as well.
And then the next Friday would come, and like obviously we were a lot younger, you didn't have the money, so you trade in the previous game, you buy the next one, and then the next week you do the same thing. I would play every game religiously. That was how it was. No matter what type of game, no matter what genre, good ratings, bad reviews, don't care. buying it.
You were quite gamer score
heavy
as well.
Yeah,
right?
that did help back in the day,
there
it was
was
like an incentive, wasn't it?
always like that was something that like me and Matty in particular, like we went really hard on that, like 300,000+. So
who won in the end?
I don't even know.
Very even in the
I think
it was well close, wasn't it?
They're both on the
But then I played Destiny for like 4 years and didn't get any.
Well, there was definitely, I'd say, a period of what would you even say, 2007 to about 2009, where all three of us really went hard. Like,
3 being
Matty, not you. Like you
I was never interested.
Yeah, me personally, Matty, literally.
So yeah, it was like
you said, we buy the new game every week.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to play the new game, but you also want to get gamerscore from the new game, which is like obviously, whichever way you look at it, it could be a really terrible incentive to buy new games. But I don't play as many games as I used to, so I know I miss out at launch. But like, obviously, there's some titles that are amazing, like the Horizons and Spider-Man's, God of War, so on. But there's a lot of first-party games that get great ratings on PlayStation that back in the day I would have been buying 100% day one, like not even question, pre-ordered. I would have been so hyped. Now I don't even know they exist. Not because of like ignorance or anything, but just because I don't play such a wide range. I'm a lot
you're
more
that guy
linear.
now.
Yeah.
Out of our friends group, you play the most.
I do. I don't play anywhere near as many as I used to.
I
used
know,
to play
but
everything. Like I still play a lot, but it's reducing over time. Like I'm ignoring games that I would have played instantly.
Yeah.
Like there is like there's, and because I always think now they'll probably go on Game Pass at some point. A lot of them. Game Pass is such an incentive as well, with first party games being free. That it is a
And at the
dilemma.
very
It's a real
beginning, it's not
dilemma.
like
However, it's not free.
Yeah,
No,
it's
not
not
free.
free.
We always say
No.
free, and it's a
I know
dilemma.
every time I'm like, it's not
free.
free, you pay for it, it's a subscription service.
But even if you get Game Pass Ultimate, what you're paying £11 a month, I think that's a great deal for what you get.
Oh, the value is good, like for
You get
sure.
Xbox Live all year, and you get Game Pass. And if you want, you can even have Game Pass on PC for free. I mean, it is a good value. You can't argue
No,
with
if
that.
you play a like range of games, to be fair, even if you don't,
Which I
just
still
for,
like to do. I still like to play a range of games. Like I don't play as many as I used to, but I still play. I still like to try out. Like there's a game that's come on recently. I think it's called like 2 Point Hospital, and it's a bit like. Have you ever played Theme Hospital?
Yeah, I did when I
It's
was
like,
young.
but that's it interests me because it's like, it's like a nostalgia thing, isn't it? Apparently, it's meant to be like Theme Hospital.
Worth a go.
But like games like that are great for Game Pass, aren't they?
Yeah.
And that's an incentive because it's like, I wouldn't have bought that game
There
retail.
are a few games on Game Pass actually I do try just because.
Yeah, just why not?
Yeah, it's there.
You're not losing
but I'd
anything,
never
are you?
would have bought it.
No, that's what. But you've discovered games where you're like, this is good. So yeah, I think in general that's where I am at. It's a bit of a dilemma really for next gen now. So we'll have to, I guess we'll find out as time goes. Time will tell.
With time will tell.
But I am literally in a sort of 50-50.
Yeah, I think it's you want to be in that position where you can make an informed decision early. You want that peace of mind. You want it clear in your head. But we got months. We will get the clarity. You will know. You won't be going into your purchase blind. You're going to be able to get
why else
what
I
you
think
want
just
to
quickly
get.
why else I think it is as well is because Xbox are saying things, so it makes you more like on their side almost because like, oh yeah, they're saying things I like.
You're the
I've heard
Sony
nothing from
fanboy.
Sony.
He's waiting. Like, come on, guys.
Yeah, but do you know what I mean? So it's when I hear things from Sony, maybe I'll change around and be like, oh fuck Xbox, I'm getting a PlayStation. I don't know, we'll see.
I think that's probably.
I think that's likely. Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm really 50-50 about it, so I don't know.
I don't know. I think
could go
you'll end
either
up
way.
with a PlayStation.
Could go either way.
Speaking of angry mentalities and gamers, though.
Great segue.
Great segue.
Yeah, Ninja. He sparked a bit of a debate because he did tweet the phrase "It's just a game" is such a weak mindset. You're okay with what happened, losing imperfection of a craft. When you stop getting angry after losing, you've lost twice. There's always something to learn and always room for improvement. Never settle.
I'm laughing because me and Buzz talked about this morning.
Because I was going mental when we lost on Apex like 10 games in a row.
What was it you threw? Was it your remote?
No, I threw a water ball.
He threw his
I
water
threw a
ball.
water ball across the room and it hit a bowl.
Hit the
and
ball
the
and literally
spoon
the
like
noise.
flipped
The
out.
noise. Ding, 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 ding. I thought he like broke his wrist or something.
Mate, Ninja would love you then.
Yeah.
Good.
I could never bowl as well as that in my life, but yeah.
Winner's mentality.
You even said straight away, didn't you, that you agree with him?
Yeah.
In games like that, anyway.
Like, he did go on to say that it was like 90% joke, 10%
sarcasm,
serious.
Yeah.
But it depends like how into this you go, and like it's a bit of a rabbit hole. Yeah, so I get angry when I lose because I play games to win. I also play games to sometimes relax, sometimes enjoy them, like, well, hopefully always enjoy them.
Oh, yeah.
But if I'm losing at a competitive game, my enjoyment goes down.
Yeah.
So I get angry as a result of I'm not succeeding, I'm having less fun. What's there to be happy about?
I've got to be honest though, it's funny that you say that. It's the competitive games. I was playing Vanquish and this fucking boss kept being like, and you know, when it's like one of them, it's like you get close to the end of its health and it kills you, and you have to go back like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
You feel like just smash. Like anger.
Yeah.
I really sometimes, you know, I'm not going to get angry, but then it makes you more angry sometimes.
I used to get really angry when I played FIFA back in the day.
I try not to get angry these days, but sometimes you can't help it.
So I think a lot depends on your investment in the game. If you play a game casually or for the first time, or there's not much going on there, you don't really care about the game. I couldn't care less if I died or wiped or went back to a checkpoint, got killed in a shooter. It doesn't matter to me. But when I'm playing a game and it's my main game, or one of 2 or 3 main games, I'm invested in it. I feel that competitive like nature come out, and I can't. I mean, I've been like this my whole life of gaming. Yeah. When a game is my main, I'm passionate about it. Like I have that. I want to succeed in it. Whether it's a shooter and you want a good KD, or you want to progress to the next rank, or like when we play FIFA together, I want us to be the best in our bracket. And when we're not, I get angry. And like that's just.
I don't think any of us have ever turned around and said it's just a game.
No, like it's not just a game. It's just a game if it's like a throwaway that you don't care about. But when it's your main interest, when it's your main game, I find it really difficult to lose or concede in a sports game, or to get killed in a shooter, wipe in a raid.
Track on F1.
Yeah,
yeah. So whatever you're really interested in, I cannot believe that people just turn around and say, no, it doesn't matter. I don't get it.
Casual gamers will, though.
It doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things, but it does when you're in the heat of the moment, so you can look at it like that.
Like, casually, that's fine. Like, again, backs up my point. Like, casually, no problem with it whatsoever. I'm not going to rage at a game that I'd have no interest in. I will rage at a game that I want to be good at, or I want us to succeed at in a co-op game or whatever. If it's my main game, I'm going to rage. It's never going to change. I'm always going to feel that investment.
It's like sport. Watching football, nothing worse than when someone says it's just a game after your team's lost. Oh god, that does.
And gaming is a sport these days. It's an e-sport, so
true. Yeah, it is. It's very true.
And we are talking about a professional, so
yeah, you can understand it. I don't know why people get so mad about it, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, he did get a lot of criticism from other verified pros, and everyone has an opinion.
Yeah.
People say if you get angry, it affects your performance negatively, which is fine. It can, but it can also inspire you.
It can actually. Yeah.
So
I get you more in the zone.
I literally, I think everybody will have a different opinion.
If you go too far, then it does affect you negatively. Like,
don't throw bottles at balls across the room.
I don't think that helped your performance.
Yeah.
It was the last game, I think, wasn't it, of the session? So
like that.
But yeah, I really think everyone will have a different opinion. It'll be interesting to see what everyone else thinks on that one.
Exactly. What's your opinion? Let us know in the comments below. That's going to wrap up the podcast for today in that episode. So thanks for listening as ever. Remember, if you are listening on...
berries.
Remember, if you're listening to us or watching us on YouTube, please like, subscribe and comment below with your opinions on the topics we covered, as that will really help the channel to grow. If you're listening to the podcast on any audio platforms, again, please leave a nice review and also pass on the pod, as that will also help the podcast to grow. And you can follow the podcast on social media on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram at ChetReachPod. You can also find the guys on social media. Where can people find you, Sud?
You can follow me on Twitter at DavidTenspud.
I'm at JG Perks.
And you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at LEL3Ds at a 9 in the end for Instagram. Anyway, thanks for joining us as ever. We'll be back next week to discuss some more gaming news. Have a good week and we'll talk again soon. Bye guys.
Bye. Bye.